down and listen to my story about a man named Jed. A poor mountaineer barely kept his family fed. And then one day he was shooting at some food, and up through the ground come a bubbling crude oil, that is, black gold, Texas tea. Well, the first thing you know, old Jed's a millionaire. The kinfolk said, Jed, move away from there. Said, California is the place you ought to be. So they loaded up the truck and they moved to Beverly Hills, that is, swimming pools, movie stars.
The Beverly Hillbillies.
Good morning, Mr. Clampett.
How's everything down at Army Reserve?
Much better, now that I've almost finished my work on that Civil War movie.
Oh, I understand Grant and the young'uns jumped right in the middle of that battle scene you were directing. I'm awful sorry about that.
It was just a rehearsal. Besides, Granny did me a big favor when she captured General Grant. Yes, he's the producer's cousin, and a terrible actor.
I'd appreciate it if you didn't let on to Granny that he was just an actor. You see, she thinks she captured the real Ulysses S. Grant.
He didn't tell her?
Well, no. You see, they had a few sips out of Granny's jug, and he wound up thinking he really was Ulysses S. Grant. Before it was over, he'd apologize for Vicksburg, give back Richmond, and promise to shoot Sherman for burning Atlanta.
Jed, it's that Yankee lover.
Now, Granny.
It's true, Jed. It was in his office that I heard General Grant planning the attack on the Culpeper plantation. And he was giving him advice.
Well, Granny, that was my job. I was,
He was outranked.
Yes, you see, I'm only a colonel, and when the general asked me for advice, it was my job to give it to him.
Now, don't go putting the blame on Yulee.
Yulee?
General Grant.
You liked him?
For a 150-year-old cigar-smoking, whiskey-drinking, south-scorching, carpet-bagging Yankee general, he ain't a bad sort.
Yes, sir. Old Grant seemed like a pretty decent sort of fella.
I paroled him, didn't I?
This has been an interesting slant on the Civil War.
What war?
He meant to say the war between the states.
It was the war between the North and the USA.
You're right, Granny, but I'm sure that Colonel Blake didn't come over here to talk about that. Let's go inside.
As a matter of fact, I came over to talk about Jethro joining the Army Reserve.
Y'all go and sit down. I'll see can I find Jethro.
Thank you.
He's a fine boy, Colonel. Strong as an ox. Good scrapper, too.
That's why I want him.
You ought to have seen him at the Battle of the Culpeper Plantation. Captured a Yankee cannon, single-handed. Took a whole gun crew. Stacked them up like cordwood.
Yes, I know. I was there directing the battle.
Aha! So it was.
Now, don't forget, I was only taking orders.
You was given orders. I know General Grant wouldn't have started that ruckus. He learned his lesson when the South whooped him the first time.
Oh, well, but...
Shame on you, goading that poor old man into another hopeless uprising.
I may said Jethro's going to town.
Good. I don't want him joining the Army Reserves nohow.
Why not?
'Cause it was them that was trying to get the North to secede again.
Now, wait a minute.
I'm going to write my congressman about it, too.
Oh, no, please don't do that. I give you my word, the Army Reserve had nothing to do with Grant's attack.
I'll believe that when I hear it from Grant.
Okay, you'll hear it from the general himself. But just don't write your congressman, please. I'll see you later.
There was no call to jump the colonel like that. He seemed like a real nice fella. Besides, he's a good friend of Mr. Drysdale.
That cinches it. Any friend of General Beauregard Drysdale ain't to be trusted.
General Beauregard?
Bolton Beauregard, the coward of Culpeper Plantation.
Whatever are you talking about?
He comes strutting in here, wearing the gray, bragging how he'd like to meet Grant face to face. saying that his body would form a living shield to protect the flower of Southern womanhood. But when the shooting started, he turned tail and run.
Maybe he seen you didn't need him. It was just a small skirmish. Nobody hurt?
Nobody hurt. Men was falling like flies. I shot General Grant off his horse myself. If he hadn't been drinking for 150 years, it'd have killed him.
What you mean?
I hit him in that cast iron liver.
Hello?
Hello, Chicken Drysdale. This is the flower of Southern womanhood. I'm taking my money out of your bank.
I heard a noise and... Chief! A 50 should do it.
General Grant.
Steve, what happened?
Granny's drawing her money out of my bank, and it's your fault.
My fault.
Whose idea was it to dress me up in a Confederate general's uniform?
Yours.
Then whose idea was it for me to lead the charge?
Yours.
But whose idea was it to retreat?
Yours.
There you see, I'm the only one around here who ever comes up with an idea. And I've just come up with another one. Oh, Granny will love me.
What is it?
I'm taking Grant's picture off the $50 bill and replacing it with Robert E. Lee.
Hello. I just got your call. I'm back in the picture, huh?
If you'll do me one little favor,
Name it.
go talk to Granny.
Forget it.
Oh, what's the matter?
That little woman is dangerous. She wings you with her shotgun and finishes you off with her jug.
Well, hardly. She's mad at me. She blames the Army Reserve for that battle at the Culpeper Plantation. Tell her it was you.
Tell her it was a movie.
Then she'll really be mad. The proudest moment of her life was when she captured General Ulysses S. Grant.
After she shot me full of lady fingers, I'm still picking crumbs out of my back.
But she threatens to write her congressman. The newspapers will have a field day.
That is your problem. I'm not going near that nutty little broad.
Well, think of the headlines. Hillbilly millionaire ambushes Army Reserve. Captures General Grant.
Could I have an instant replay on that?
Ambushes Army Reserve. Captures General Grant.
No. The flip side.
Hillbilly millionaire?
That's the tune. Sing some more.
Well, my friend Drysdale tells me that Clampett is worth about $60 or $70 million. And a fourth of that is Granny's.
Oh, let me have that dear little lady's address.
You'll go?
Well, after all, she captured and paroled me. As an officer and a gentleman, it is my duty to report.
Oh, come in, Colonel.
Mr. Clampett?
General Grant, nice to see you again.
Good to see you, Mr. Clampett. And here is my charming conqueror, the beautiful belle of the battlefield.
Oh, did we interrupt your lunch?
Oh, my goodness. That's Jethro's pacifier.
Granny, Colonel Blake wants to talk to Jethro, so why don't you take the general and go sit in the parlor yonder?
Oh, that's an excellent idea.
General, I believe you were going to explain that the attack on the Culpeper Plantation was your idea, not the Army Reserve.
Oh, that's true. I am to blame. I'm entirely at fault.
Now, don't go to faulting yourself. Let's put it this way. You still have a perfect record.
I have?
You ain't never won a battle agin the South.
Well, Colonel, boy is all yours. He'll make you a dandy soldier.
Oh, I know that. I saw him in action. All he has to do now is take the written test.
Well, I won't be no hell to a stepper like Jethro. He's had 12 years of school and graduated highest in his class.
I'm embarrassed to even ask him to come down and take our simple little test. What's he working on?
Oh, a little problem Granny gave me. He'll have it whooped in no time at all. Boy takes to ciphering like a mule to millet. Jethro, show the Colonel what you're ciphering.
Oh, howdy, Colonel.
Hi, sit down.
Well, we'd best start back here at the beginning.
Say, what are you using? Logarithms?
Oh, no, sir. This here is a Blackbird number 1. Well, we commence with the figure 200. That is 2 and 2 noughts. Funny thing about them knots, by themselves, they ain't worth shucks. But you lay them up behind a number, and them rascals is dynamite. Now then, here we is dealing with years. If we is dealing with dollars, I'd put me a dot right here and throw up 2 more knots behind it. That'd mean I had $200, but no cents.
Did I tell you? Like a mule to millet.
Am I going too fast for you?
No, but I do have to get back to headquarters. Why don't you come along with me and we'll get you started on your qualification test.
But I ain't finished ciphering Granny's problem.
Well, that's all right, Jethro. You go along with the colonel.
Yes, sir.
Tell General Grant I'll see him later.
You bet I will. Now,
Colonel, about them tests, don't get your hopes up too high. You see, Jethro might not be as good at other things as he is at ciphering.
You're kidding.
Oh, he's got a natural gift for it.
You say he's had 12 years of schooling?
And clean through the 6th grade.
Oh, I see. 12 years, 6th grade. But he was the highest in his class.
By a good 2 feet.
Put that silver down. You gotta break yourself of them Yankee habits.
Well, I wasn't... I wouldn't...
Remember, you're on parole. One misstep and you're off to Andersonville. Sit down. While the sassafras tea is steeping, we'll get some of these questions out of the way.
Yes, ma'am.
Now then, since your capture, have you been plotting any more uprisings again the South?
Well, absolutely not.
Have you been consorting with evil companions like Phil Sheridan and Tecumseh Sherman?
Oh, bad boys. Bad boys.
Are you prepared to go to the soldiers' home and live peacefully with your wife?
Well, I don't have a wife.
Forget the old soldiers' home. Are you presently keeping company with any woman of the northern faith?
No, ma'am.
Then, by the power that's vested in me by the Confederate government, I do hereby extend your parole for a period of 1 more week. Rise and salute the flag.
Don't sit there, woman. Help your gallant wounded leader.
Chief, you can't fool Granny with those phony blood stains.
What do you mean, phony? When anyone threatens to take $15 million out of my bank, I bleed. When Granny hears the story of my heroism and sacrifice, she will garland my brow with a victory wreath.
Won't be a minute, you leave. Bolton Beauregard, what happened to you? Got caught in a barbed wire fence running from the battle?
Granny, I was executing a fast flanking movement.
That's true. You got the fastest moving flanks I ever seen.
Hear me out, dear lady. I left the scene of battle only to pursue the enemy.
What enemy?
Our common foe, that arch-fiend, General Ulysses S. Grant.
Oh. You've been chasing him?
Night and day. Across burning deserts, over snow-capped mountains, through raging rivers, until at last we had a rendezvous with death.
You killed him, did you?
He lies in a grave unmarked and unmourned. Though sorely wounded, I made my way back to the bank to erase from our national currency the last vestige of his evil countenance. You will notice a new picture on our $50 bill.
It's Robert E. Lee.
Our beloved leader. And that's what I was doing, ma'am, when you telephoned and so cruelly threatened to withdraw your money. It was a terrible blow.
If you think that was a blow, wait till you get this one. Oh, General!
You called, Daisy?
Well, what have you got to say now?
I believe my dear, sweet, sainted mother expressed it best when she said, Beauregard, some days it just don't pay to get out of bed.
Well, here's your $15 million.
How do you know I had that much?
I mean, I'm toasting the people who follow you and Jeff Davis. Your faithful $15 million.
Well, up the creek and down the river, goodbye gullet and hello liver.
Oh, I'm sorry, Granny. I didn't know you had company.
Ellie Mae, you're showing your bare leaves.
I'm sorry. I was just going swimming.
There, don't scold the child. Why, she's just a baby. Healthy little thing, isn't she? I'm very fond of children.
Well, your beard tickles, General Bryant.
Would you like to run through it barefooted, child?
No, she wouldn't. Go along, Ellie.
Why don't y'all come out by the cement pond? It's a real pretty day.
Wonderful idea. I love to watch children at play. Take Uncle Yuli's hand, child.
Hold it, Yuli. Ellie, run along. You know, sometimes you don't act 147.
Oh, it's just when I see a beautiful girl in a bathing suit, it makes me feel young again.
Well, why didn't you say so? I still have the bathing suit that I wore in the beauty contest at Expo 97 in Bug Tussle.
You do?
I didn't win, but I was voted Miss Good Sport. You wait here. I'll be right back. And I'll run through your beard barefooted. Julie, honey. Oh, General. Why, that old duffer. He is fond of children.
Has your daddy ever bounced you on his knee?
Well, no, sir, General.
Call me Uncle Yuli.
You're tickling me.
Well, I'm kind of tickled myself.
That silly old man wasting his time with Shirley Temple when Theda Barrer's around. Well, don't just sit there, soldier. Say something.
Put it on. Put it on.
Come on, Granny. Let's go swimming.
No, thank you, Ellie. But the General's gonna join you.
Oh, no, I'm not.
Oh, yes, you are.
Come in.
Excuse me, Colonel Blake, but have you finished grading my test papers yet?
Yes,
Was I the highest in the class?
by a good half foot.
Dog. Then I can join up, huh?
Jethro, fortunately, we take into consideration the amount of formal education a boy has had, and we grade on the curve, so you are eligible to join.
Hey, that's swell.
However, before I administer the oath, there are a couple of things I'd like to discuss with you.
Yes, sir?
Now, let's take your application. You're going to be filling out a lot of other forms, and I want to give you a tip.
Well, thank you.
Name, address, date of birth, that's okay. But, Jethro, where it says sex, write male, not oh boy.
I'm sorry.
Now then, on your mathematics test, you at least tried to answer every question except one. I'll read it. If A leaves Chicago for Kansas City at 10:30.
Oh, you mean that trick question?
Trick question?
Sure. It didn't say A what? A bird can get to Kansas City a heap quicker than A turtle. I was too smart to bite on that one.
Raise your right hand.
Well, I sure do thank you, Colonel Blake. When do I leave for Army camp?
We'll let you know, Jethro. The reserve is pretty full up right now.
Well, thanks again. Grant, you're all wet.
Oh, your grandmother wears army boots.
Where have you been? Crossing the Potomac?
Never mind. I kept my part of the bargain. Now, when do I go back to the Culpeper plantation and start shooting?
Right away. Are you sober enough to make that death-defying charge this time?
I have never been so disgustingly sober in my whole life. You got anything I can take for it?
Not me.
Granny, Uncle Jed.
Well, boy, how'd you make out at the Army Reserve?
I got in. I done took the oath.
Well, doggies, I'll go tell Ellie Mae we'll have us a real wingding to celebrate.
Granny, guess who I saw down there? General Grant.
That parole buster.
You ain't just a joking. He's fixing to attack the Culpeper place again.
No.
Yeah, I heard him say so myself. He's gonna make his death-defying charge again.
Fetch the squirrel rifle and the ladyfinger bullets. This time I won't aim for his liver.
And look, Granny, yonder he comes.
Okay, General, I give you your chance. Oh! Tell me to put it on, put it on. Come on, Jethro, let's go home.
And he promised me he'd be sober.
Now it's time to say goodbye to Jed and all his kin. They would like to thank you folks for kindly dropping in. You're all invited back next week to this locality to have a heaping helping of their hospitality. Hillbilly, that is. Set a spell. Take your shoes off. Y'all come back now. Here?
This has been a Filmways presentation.